Hi everyone, it's Bianca with Tenaciously Tender Tarot. Today I'm going to be sharing a general message for the new moon in Aries, which is occurring today, Friday, April 17th, 2026. Um, it's Friday, so Venus Day, Taurus's Day, Libra's Day. I have a spider joining me at the window here. So if spiders are significant to any of y'all, take that as a sign um, that they're here, they're present, they're listening. So let's go ahead and get a move on. The deck that I will be using today is the Moonchild Tarot. I wanted to share the inside of the box, and also look at the sides, just gorgeous. But the inside says, "You are the dance of light and shadow." Today, this morning, I, as I often am, was being very called to dance and just, you know, relish in that joy, in that excitement, and allow movement to come in. So, if maybe you've been feeling kind of stuck, as I mentioned in some of the shorts that I've been uploading, if you have been watching, the Aries season is just coming in really hot and heavy. And, if you're not processing what needs to be processed, um, it's kind of a really heavy energy to go through, to pass through. I feel like that expression of like when you're wading through deep waters. Yeah. So like imagine like you're trying to like walk, run, in like a body of water that's like up to your chest. Like that's going to be really hard compared to um, you know, a splash pad compared to like inches of water. That doesn't even reach like your ankles or something like that. So if you're not facing the energy, or processing it, as I mentioned, it is quite a heavy thing to be in right now. So I do want to take a moment to acknowledge that if you're still in that space, there is an end coming. Aries season, with the planetary placements, um, is really coming to a head today. So I really wanted to share a message today for that reason. Um, so I hope that the messages that I have here for you today will help you with whatever um, dilemmas you've been dealing with. Um, I will be using a spread from here. This was a gift from someone. It is the Naked Heart Tarot, and oh, sorry, by Jillian C. Wilde. And I am going to be using the New Moon spread. So we will be pulling 5 cards. The first card is for the present moment, as you appear in the present moment. The second, for gratitude, what you can be thankful for that has led you to this present moment. 3, desire, what your highest self most desires going into this moon cycle. 4, release, what blockage you need to release to bring your desire into being. And 5, action step needed to help manifest a desire into existence. On the bottom, it says, crystal recommendation, clear quartz or labradorite. Here I have a clear quartz for y'all. And it also says if you, recommendations for candle color with the new moon, they wrote here yellow. So if you were considering doing some candle magic, you can definitely go ahead and do that with a yellow, as per what's recommended. But that's just a recommendation. Feel free to do whatever you have available, whatever you feel called to do. If you feel called to do multiple candles throughout the week, throughout the day, do it. All power to you, as you should. This is knowledge that is becoming more and more available to us. So please don't feel pressured to stay in, you know, in one lane, provided that you're not, interfering with any close practices. That's a whole other topic. But, if you feel called to do different colored candles and also a bath and also, burning something and also burying something and also all of that, do it. If you feel called to do it, do it. Don't let anyone stop you or dissuade you. This is your time to do whatever it is that you fucking want to. So be my guest. These are just recommendations, as I said. Let's go ahead and get a move on. I already shuffled, but I want to shuffle again. I am going to shuffle, and then I am going to pull the cards from the top. So this is number 1, number 2, number 3. I did not think this through. Number 4 and number 5. Okay. Well, that's going to look a little messy, but that's okay. That is a-okay, because healing is messy, storytelling is messy. Yeah. I don't know what else to say without being mean to myself. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to say thank you again for coming back to my video, to my channel. When I was shuffling beforehand, I kind of had a little heartfelt conversation with the universe, with source, with spirit, to say that my video reaches people who want to make a change, people who are willing to be uncomfortable to see that change, people who are willing to ask for help, hear others' advice, and listen to their own selves to see what it is that they want. I said more that I kind of am blanking on right now, but I hope that if you're watching this video, especially on Friday, April 17th, 2026, although please take these messages wherever you may go whenever you're watching. But if you're watching it on this day, and you're feeling, that renewed sense of energy, I'm right there with you. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and flip card number 1. Present moment, as you are in the present moment, 7 of Cups. Yeah. So, again, we're now coming out of this really murky, really heavy energy. I'm thinking like smoky energy. Like you're, when you're at a club or at a party and they have the smoke machine going and it's fun for a while and then you're like, okay, now they're overdoing it. I feel like you've been in that space where you're like, okay, I'm over it. What's next? Now we're coming to a place where that smoke has cleared, that smoke has lifted, that energy is being cleared away. And it's asking us now, what do we want? Where do we want to go from here? And that is a very heavy loaded question. I completely understand if you hear that and you're like, Bianca, what the fuck? That's not an easy question to answer. Why are you asking me this on a Friday? I should be doing, XYZ, whatever. That's okay. Come back to the video when you're ready. But nonetheless, we are going to have to face the fact that we have the possibility to make a choice. We have a possibility to see where we go next. And, they're all great choices. We can make each choice great if we choose to. If we allow each choice to be great and teach us something, present us with new people, then we have nothing to worry about. And I know that that's way easier said than done. I know. But if for just this moment, we can trust that everything will be okay, that Spirit will lead us where we gotta go, that Source will remind us of our strength when we feel so weak, so lost. When we surround ourselves by loving and kind people, we remember how capable we are. We remember how safe we are to try. And that's something I'm learning as well. I'm going to turn 30 next year. I've had to do a lot of, I was going to say backtracking, but that's not the word. I've just been having to, go back and recollect my memories, retell my story, and it's a heavy one. It's a hard one, and so, turning 30 next month, I really want to take into account what I'm taking the next year. Yeah. Which leads us to the second card, gratitude. What you can be thankful for that has led you to this present moment. Yeah, I was just saying. 3 of Cups. 7 of Cups, 3 of Cups. Lots of loving, energy. I'm thinking of the word like familial, familyhood. I don't know if that's a word, but that's what I'm hearing. Familyhood. Like a play on neighborhood, but not neighborhood. I mean, if that word is important to you, neighborhood, then yes, but no. I'm hearing and I'm seeing the word familyhood. I don't know if that's like a new thing, a new theory. For any of my academics out there, if anyone is coining that or if it has been coined, this is the first I'm hearing it, but it's something that I felt I needed to say. 3 of Cups is like literally all about I'm hearing the word sisterhood, fraternity, sorority. In one of my classes, we're talking about this idea of fraternity in a nation and being able to care for one another without feeling in competition with one another, without feeling wronged by another, judged by the other, or othered, just simply as that. And while this Enlightenment author, philosopher, while he, wanted to talk about the nation, we know that that's very difficult to achieve. In our political climate today, there's so much uncertainty and distrust and disgust for one another, even that it's really hard to get there. But you are not a nation. Like, metaphorically speaking, yes, right? We can get into that and another topic. But literally speaking, you are your own nation. Like, you can choose like what rules are in your family, what morals you and your family have, what values you and your family have. You can choose, right? You don't have to depend on the nation to tell you. You don't have to depend on anyone to tell you. You can choose decisions, right? And these are heartfelt decisions. Like, these are not decisions to be taken lightly. These are decisions that weigh heavy on your heart, that do affect your heart, your love and where you give and receive. So it's not something to take lightly. But going back to gratitude, we can remember what it is that we bring to the table that has let us be where we are now. If that table has just had a seat for one, yours, then say thanks to the table. And yeah, let me go back to that, because often, we get so caught up in our dramas and our pain, and why wouldn't we, right? Like, our trauma affects our daily lives, consciously and subconsciously, right? So I'm not saying that to belittle it or dismiss it at all. I'm just saying that sometimes if we don't take a moment to take a step back, we do lose sight of what is around us. Like, yeah, we can be grateful that we have this secluded area and like our safe haven here, our refuge. But eventually, like, we realize this refuge is a part of the whole. And that's heavy. Because we know that the choices that we make will affect what our safe haven looks like to the rest of the world, and vice versa. How our safe haven will look at the rest of the world. Going back to, if we're not kind of checking ourselves, every once in a while, we do lose sight of the bigger picture. So going back, like, having that gratitude is good. And it is something that you need to practice, and that's okay. Go ahead and practice. You have all the time in the world. Desire. What your highest self most desires going into this moon cycle. And we have the 10 of Wands. So I think the 10 of Wands is telling us, our highest self, is telling us it's time to share that pain with the rest of the world. I had covered this, but now I'm noticing that these moons are much more closer now. Our perspective has shifted. In a sense, I could even say that this image is like as an angle from here. If you can imagine with me. Come along with me. Collective. If you could see that perhaps this woman here, it looks like, is like at the edge of this canyon here. So that we see the perspective of the moons a lot closer, right? I hope that's making sense. So one, a change of perspective, which is, hey, it's okay to talk about my pain. It's okay to unburden myself, to release some of this weight. And by doing so, you're reaching out to your community, you're reaching out for help, you're reaching to a higher like power, if that makes sense. Because you're not just containing that within yourself, you're not subjecting yourself to keep that all compressed. You're allowing it to flow, and you're allowing others to witness that flow. And that gives other people the space, the inspiration to do that for themselves. I've been getting a lot of those messages where it's like, you know, you're called for something higher. Like you were here for a reason. And I feel like when you have had such a hard life, it does feel sarcastic. It even feels like phony, like you're being made fun of. At least that's me. But I'm starting to recognize that, yeah, maybe, you know, the more I talk about my experiences, the more I share my perspective, the more other people learn, the more other people get to question things themselves, and interrupt patterns themselves, which I think is beautiful. I just saw a Dalmatian, and for a quick second, it looked like a cow, and I was like, what the fuck is a cow doing here? So maybe, again, with perspective, right? Maybe things aren't always what they seem like. Like maybe if you just take another moment to kind of see um what's here, it won't feel so heavy. It won't feel so bad. Um with like the new moon, right, in Aries, every astrologer and their mama is out there saying, oh my God, imagine the person who would be born right now, good luck to their parents, and oh my God, don't manifest, and oh my God, don't do this, and oh my God, beware, and oh my God, watch out. Who cares, bro? The moon will keep mooning. We will have another new moon. We will have another crazy Aries stellium, you know, at one point or another. It's okay. It's okay. All of that can keep happening. All of that can happen, and nothing could happen, and all of that could happen, and everything could happen. You won't know if you're in your head the whole time. You won't know if you won't even allow a moment of silence to be like, what could be out there happening for me? What could this mean for me? How do I want to approach this? Um, and I think truly your highest self is telling you, approach the new moon with the new attitude, which says, I am renewed. I am free of my past. I am fresh. I am dewy. I don't know why I'm getting these words. Like you're like a new flower in bloom. Y'all remember having to like go to school in the mornings, and you would walk outside and you could see the morning dew on like the blades of grass, on the rose bushes, on the bushes, on the cars, even on even iron gates, condensation and all that. Morning dew. Do you remember? I remember. I'm there right now. And isn't that so beautiful? That's you. That's you. That's you. You are the morning dew on a fresh, cool morning. Yeah. Don't let everything else change that. Remember that. Bring that back to yourself. Bring that peace back to yourself, that calm, that steadiness back to yourself. Because there's a lot going on out there in the world. So much. It's horrible. But again, perspective. Um, Card number 4, release. What blockage you need to release to bring your desire into being. So, in order to let go, in order to feel ready to let go, in order to face what it is we need to let go, we have the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, we need to slow down. We need to slow down so that we can get that bright idea, be enlightened, and be like, okay, that's what I want to let go. This is what I want to achieve moving forward. But you need to slow down. It's so fitting that there's an airplane going by right now. Because one, you might feel like escaping from this truth. That's okay. That's okay, friend. I get it. You want to pack your bags and vamoose. I get it, friend. But eventually, the plane lands, right? Eventually, the plane lands. Eventually, the plane is going to need some fucking gas. And it's going to need to land somewhere. And then what? You catch another plane, but it's going to be the same cycle over and over again. Or 2, you want to soar. You want to rise above, as you should. But in order to do that, you need to prepare that plane. You know, if you're not flying the plane, you need to have someone who knows how to fly the plane, who knows how to read the weather patterns, who knows how to gas up a plane, because I don't. If you know, hit me up. I want to get my pilot's license. but if you're running from things, or sorry, not that was the first message. But in order to soar, in order to fly and get up in the sky, you know, there are certain things that you need to do. There is a protocol that you need to follow. And if we're not doing that, we risk going in with so much danger, with so many setbacks, with so many risks. When if we had taken our time to choose wisely, invest wisely, we wouldn't have to see any of this clashing energy. Because we went from cups and being very emotional to then this big energy of like burnout almost. The 10 of Wands is usually a character, a person who looks absolutely exhausted. I'm trying to find my book so I could show you what it looks like in the traditional Rider-Waite deck. This is the book. A beginner's guide to card meaning spreads and intuitive exercises. Guided tarot for seamless readings by Stephanie Caponi. Usually, the 10 of Wands is just looking defeated. Oopsies. Just like, God damn, I have to carry this, and oh my God. And he's carrying them, and he's struggling. Overwhelm and burdens, right? But if we listen to our higher self, which is telling us, let go, share some of your burdens with me, then we will realize what we want to achieve. And that's all our highest self is trying to help us with, for real. They really just want to get us to where they know we can go, to where our deepest desires actually lie. I think I just saw a white butterfly. Yeah, it flew away before I could really get a look at it. But if white butterflies are significant to you, then they're also present. And crows, there's a bunch of crows here always, but one just flew by as I was talking. So, this new moon, you know, while it is a huge fiery energy, we need to walk in level headed. I'm getting like that, like the example of like when you're stoking fire. I think that's how you say it. When you're like trying to get a fire going and you're fanning, fanning the flames, fanning the embers. I'm having a really hard time describing this because yeah, I don't do this obviously. But yeah, it's like that idea of stoking the fire, and like if you're fanning it, it will create more fire, more flame. It will feed the flame, right? I feel like there's already so much going on, already so much of that going on with like a lot of other energies. I'm having a hard time speaking. I wanted to burp, but it didn't come out. Yeah, there's a lot of that. You don't need to add to that. You don't need to add fuel to the fire. I didn't want to say fuel specifically because it feels like it's that, like air, that air element, sorry. That air element of stoking the fire with air. Um, so that's like fire, energy, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, and air, wind, um, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Those placements might be significant. But yeah, we are being encouraged not to add more wind. Again, not fuel. Like that, fuel is not the specific word because fuel is for something else. Like we do want fuel, but like for ourselves. Yeah. So like spirit is telling me not to get those confused. Like fuel is for yourself. Like fuel yourself instead of fueling that fire. So yeah, like you don't need to be fanning that energy. You don't need to keep entertaining that flame. You can just focus on yourself, on what you need to do in order to succeed in this new moon. Yeah. Wow. These two crows are flying outside like in sync. Oh, it's beautiful. I wish I could show you guys, but we're in an apartment complex and I just don't want to um accidentally show anyone. But yeah, that was gorgeous. Two crows were like flying in sync. It was beautiful. So yeah, I feel like that saying when you feel yourself, you flow easier. You find your community better. You find your rhythm better. Yeah. Yeah. Crows are confirming that back there. They said, yeah, caca. Okay. Last card. Um, action step. The action step needed to help manifest desire into existence. Okay. So, wow. Okay. This deck is so beautiful, for real. Okay. The Eight of Pentacles. So, the action step needed to help manifest a desire into existence. Yeah, I love that we started with like cups and then we shifted our energy, and now we're in pentacles, like the earth, like the material, like it's coming into fruition, friends. Yes, yes, yes. And oh, shut up. Look how cute. They both have rainbows. The others don't. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Stop. Oh my god. That's so cute. Sorry, friends. That is adorable. I love when this happens. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, friends. When we take a moment to slow down, to let our quiet guide us, our stillness guide us, oh my gosh. When we learn to do that, we're unstoppable. For real. For real. Got my fist clenched and everything. We're unstoppable when we do this. And it's hard, friend. Oof, it's hard. And I don't mean to say that to discourage you by any means. No, 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 no. I just say that to remind us of the journey that we're going through. Because this is not an easy journey. This is not a walk in the park. This is willingness to face our inner demons day in and day out, and not letting them control us, not letting them be us, not letting them represent us. I want to share, something that my therapist has told me about the story that we're telling ourselves. And I didn't understand what she meant for, I think, about a year. I didn't really understand what she meant. Um, until I guess I don't want to say this. I'm shy. There's still a lot of shame, right? I still shame myself and I still judge myself quite a bit, but I'm willing to share. Um, Having a victim mentality. And I thought I had become aware of it maybe in the last 2 years. No, in the last 3 years. Yes, in the last 3 years, I became present, right, of having a victim mentality. And then that first year, I thought I was like working through it. And obviously at the time, it felt like I was. It really felt like I was. But then the next year, um, with the new therapist, so like year one of my current therapist, because we're going on 2 years now. But year one, I really really got face to face with that victim mentality because I was like, actually, yeah, like I felt really um in sync, like connected with that idea of like being a victim because of like my circumstances. And it made sense again at the time. But then my therapist was like, okay, and you're still, going to school. You're still making sure that your son goes to school. You're still, trying to look out for yourself, and you're still trying to, keep in contact with your friends and family even though you moved away. And, you're still connecting with new students and new professors. And so, like, you're still able to do all these beautiful things regardless of your circumstances. So, what does that say about you? And I really didn't get that exercise for a really long time. Um, and now in my second year with her, it's a lot easier to sit back and be like, whoa, I'm actually incredibly resourceful. Um, and I am willing to do really hard things for the people that I love, which include my son, myself, and, you know, a handful of other people of my close friends and family. There's a lot to unpack there for another time. But I do feel very certain of the people that I do love and the people that I am willing to go the extra mile for. And it's of my choice. And it's great. And it's hard. It's still hard, and I still bitch about things, and I still cry, and I still get overwhelmed, and I still stress out. But then when I remember to slow down and be like, wow, even though I was pissed off, and even though I was stressed out, and even though I wanted to give up and call it quits and, you know, turn back around, head home, call it quits, throw in the towel, I still did it. I still did it. And that means I'm willing to be uncomfortable to get things done. I'm willing to be on my own to get things done. And that doesn't make it any less harder. That doesn't make it any more fun or virtuous or noble. It just makes it my reality. And I'm starting to be okay with that. And I hope you too, friend. I hope you realize that you have the power, the place, the position to speak up for yourself and recognize what you want to see come into fruition. See what you desire. What are the things you want to see when you wake up? Who are the people you want to see when you wake up? And those are very loaded questions because I just had a reaction to the last one. Who do you want to see when you wake up in the morning? Ouch. Because you may not have, you know, those things right away. But acknowledging that you do want those things is the first step. Yeah. So you're we we are really being asked to slow down and ask ourselves, what do we want to see moving forward? Who do we want to be surrounded by? What do we want to be doing? Yeah. And know that you don't have to answer these questions right away, but know that the sooner you start exploring these questions, the sooner you can start exploring those possibilities. Yeah. Mm. This was a very beautiful reading. I'm so glad I got to do this today. I'm so, so glad. I hope that these messages cleared up some things for you. If you have any questions, please put them down below in the comment section. And I love you so much. I'm sending you all a big hug. Um, a pat on the head, a pat on the back, a little hair scruffle, a little boop on the nose. Yeah, I'm so glad that we're here in the same space together. I hope that you can come back to these messages and that each time there will be something that lands. Again, an airplane flying by. So I hope that this information landed. I hope this message landed. I hope that you feel grounded, and I hope that you walk into this new moon um, with high expectations of yourself. Yeah, that's what I heard. High expectations of yourself, high love for yourself, and high respect for yourself. Yeah. Those did not come from me because now I can't remember what I just said. Whenever I say things and I don't remember right away, I'm like, okay, I didn't say that. That was someone else. Um, I just heard the last one, respect again. High respect for yourself. Yeah. So respect your wishes, respect your desires, respect your feelings, respect your pace. And yeah, just respect yourself. And I hope that you have a great day. I hope that um, you take the time to rest. And I will see you in the next one. This was Bianca again with Tenaciously Tender Tarot. I love you guys. Um, and yeah, happy new moon in Aries. Bye.